Former Habs captain Shea Weber's contract was traded the other day. The reason this was a necessary move by Habs GM Kent Hughes wasn't exactly clear to me, and I'm sure to a lot of other Habs fans, but I think I have the answers to clear that up now. Hey everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talkin' Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. All right, I came across an article on a winning habit today. It's about the writer who's Patrick Lordsey. It's about his three Habs hot takes, after the Shea Weber trade. And one of the hot takes is about Carey Price and LTIR. So here's just so we want to see the article. It's this article, Canadiens 3 hot takes from Shea Weber trade. So in that hot take is the answer to why the need was there to trade Weber's contract before the start of the 22-23 season. It has to do with starting the season over the cap or under the cap, using LTIR money versus not needing LTIR money. Last season, Weber went on the LTIR when Montreal had just $750,000 of cap space left, which then gave Montreal $7.1 million in cap space. And this is from an article on the day that Weber going on the LTIR was announced, October 14th. I put 2022, it's 2021, because I'm a dumb sometimes. So the important part of this is Montreal currently, on October 14th, had just $750,000 of salary cap space left. That was according to Cap Friendly at the time. If Montreal doesn't move Weber's contract this season, they would be just under $1 million over the cap. And if Price had to go on LTIR, which is a possibility, they would only get just under $1 million worth of cap relief. And that's according to the explanation, which I'm going to show you in a bit. As it stands, as I write this video, they have almost $2 million in cap space going into the offseason, and that is right here on Cap Friendly. Projected cap space, $1,923,334. So that's just under $2 million. If they can stay under the cap till after opening night, and again, it's in the explanation why that's important. If Price has to go on LTIR, the cap relief would be substantial and not paltry, which to me, $1 million on Price's contract is paltry. And it would be somewhere around 8 to 10 million versus the just under 1 million. Here's some points from that article and the explanation of how LTIR really works. I didn't really understand exactly how it works, and I assume a lot of us don't. And this hopefully is a good explanation for it. All right. How the system works. So this is a tweet by Dan Kramer. And my dog just wants to interrupt the video. So I see a lot of confusion on LTIR and as it relates to Habs, the Weber trade. The below, which is going to be the explanation, is probably the cleanest explanation. Yes, you can exceed the cap by amount of an LTIR player's cap hit, more or less ignoring it. But you can't accrue or bank cap space while using LTIR space. So this is how it works. I'll read this whole thing, and I had to read it a few times to get exactly what I think is the explanation. Here we go. When a player is on LTIR, a team may exceed the salary cap. Despite the common misconception, LTIR does not remove a cap hit from a team's overall cap hit. It just potentially allows the team to exceed the salary cap. The amount that a team may exceed the salary cap due to LTIR is commonly referred to as the LTIR pool. If a team is cap compliant on opening day without using LTIR or uses LTIR at any point during the season, the LTIR pool is the cap hit of the LTIR player less the team's cap space when the player goes on LTIR. For example, if a player with a $4 million cap hit goes on LTIR when the team has $100,000 of cap space, The LTIR pool is 3.9 million. That's 4 million minus 100,000. Because of this, teams often make several roster moves right before a player goes on LTIR in order to be as close to the cap as possible in order to maximize the LTIR pool. Now, if a team cannot be cap compliant on opening day without using LTIR, the LTIR pool is the amount the team exceeds the cap. For example, if a team is $3 million over the cap and places a player on LTIR with a $4 million cap hit for the opening roster submission, the LTIR pool is the $3 million that the team exceeded the cap. While on LTIR, cap space is no longer accrued, meaning any portion of the LTIR pool not used cannot be used later. When a player comes off LTIR, the team's annual cap hit for that day must be under the cap. Okay, so here's the explanation as I see it. With Weber here on the LTIR starting the season, Montreal is just under $1 million over the cap. If Carey Price has to be added to that LTIR, Montreal being just under $1 million over LTIR only gets that just under $1 million for Carey Price. All that $10.5 million doesn't get used. It is not available to them. I think that's how it works, for best I can figure out. So it was important for Montreal to move Weber because they wanted A, to not start the season over the cap, and B, to be able to maximize as much as they can Carey Price's salary if he goes on the LTIR, right? So I think this is the reason, personally. Now, a little more on this. This is from Eric Engels. Kent Hughes has accepted he likely won't have clarity on Carey Price's playing situation until closer to training camp or perhaps even later. So he'll have to go about his off-season business planning for Price to be on his active roster. See, this is important because that means Price's salary will be on the books. So, right, and they're going to be just under the salary cap, a couple of million. So if he does hit LTIR, right, they're able to maximize the amount that they're going to get back for him, which makes a lot of sense, and that's what you should be doing. Here's Hughes's comment on that. I don't think we have an option, to be perfectly honest. That's about leaving Price on the active roster. We don't influence when somebody's on LTIR or not. That might be a little tongue-in-cheek. That really comes down to, that's a medical question, and it's not something that management has a say in. And again, I think I said this multiple times in the past, but we're talking about a very, very important player in the history of the Montreal Canadiens organization, and we certainly want to assist him in trying to get back to play here. And if we can do that, great, because we're a much better hockey team with Carey Price than without him. But if we get to that situation where he can't play, we'll have to deal with it at that point in time. And this trade today was in part just to protect ourselves against that situation. So that means that they don't know when they're going to have to put him on the LTIR. They may not have to at all, but they may have to. And I guess what he's saying is they don't want to have to do that in a bad position. Having Weber still here, his contract being on LTIR puts him in a bad position, and now that clears that up. So there you go. That's the explanation. I didn't understand exactly how LTIR money works. Now I have a better understanding. I hope you do too. And so if you like this video, please give a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below there. Stay safe out there. I don't know why I still have to read this. You think I know it by now. Stay safe out there. Peace out, y'all. Thanks for watching, of course. And hey, check out that video over in the corner over there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye now. See you soon.